Not coming to you live, but coming to you recorded for your week of market mastery. Let's get right into it. I want to make this quick, easy, and make you some money. So we look at NVIDIA today. One of our better trades, getting in long at $160 a share. Yes, I know that was a long time ago, but it is playing out exactly as expected. Post earnings, remember we traded that live, traded the breakout, made even more money, and now we're in this tight little range right here. NVIDIA sank down for a little bit today. It does look like we might see more bearish downside. Our next level to watch is going to be 775 to see if it can hold. If not, then I think we could very well retest all the way back down to the lower 700s. If we do push back up above 804, give or take, we very well could see even more breakout to the upside. Remember, these are the kind of trades you do not want to miss, but more importantly, you do not want to get caught short on a blue sky breakout, meaning there is no end in sight. This thing is in price discovery mode. It is ready to rip and is just going to keep on going until it finally runs out of steam. Regardless of your opinion on whether or not it is truthful in its market valuation is irrelevant. You do not short names like this until you are absolutely confident that you're going to make money or you can get beat to death. So let's go now to the S&P. That trade played out perfectly for those of you that are in the Discord. We absolutely nailed this one. We mapped out this range on our stream last week, and then I dove into it a little deeper last night in the Discord. We talked about a failed breakout over 507.90 would yield a phenomenal trade, puts to the downside, which traded all the way down to just below 506, about a 30% swing there. If we stay below this green line, the SPY is going to remain bearish for the day. If we push back up and we break above it, the SPY may actually see a little bit of upside, possibly retesting $509 a share. We mapped out our calls trade there for the bullish upside if that occurs. But remember, until you have that confirmation on at least the 15-minute, you want to play that very safe. So just to give you a quick breakdown of what we described for you last night in the Discord, remember we talked about a failed breakout, which would mean opening above this green line. And then we'd love to see a 15-minute confirmation below. That was this candle right here. It wicked up, then wicked down, and then inevitably closed just below 507.90, which was our confirmation to take the puts trade, which means you entered at maximum profit, traded that down all the way to 506, and made your money. Now, keep watching. If you're in the trade, keep holding. Looks like we have a nice descending resistance here that SPY has failed to break above. So this one will be dicey for the rest of the day. Now, zooming out a little bit to look at our overall view on the SPY, we talked about this breakout happening back in October when we were trading very, very low relative to where we are now. We traded the 470 calls from March. Those paid 400%. We were trading then to 490. Those paid 400%. With our next target was 500, paid 400%. Now we're looking at where do we go from here? Well, the weekly has a lot of strength. We have our little trend channel expanding here and forming on the weekly chart. We need to see this close for a bullish momentum. We need to see this close above 508. If we do, I think we might meet our full retracement to our next price target of 563 a share, which would be a full fib extension up. If we close below, then we are probably going to trade back down to our range at 500 or maybe stay within this range right here. As always, trade this one safe. Follow me every Monday as I break this chart down live for you at Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern. Obviously, I'm traveling, so this week it's recorded, but I'm still making sure to get you what you need. I always want you to have that juice, baby. So moving on, I know we had a few tickers that you guys asked about in the chat last week that we didn't get to cover, so I'm going to cover those today. We have our Select Financial Fund. We've already mapped this one out a few times. We got a nice range here between 35 and 40. We have traded the upside to 40, and now we are right below that resistance at 40.85. You want to play this one very, very safe. You do not want to get caught upside down on this. Financial sector has been performing well, but as always, remember, when we're trading the top of the range, it's smarter to go short or wait for the breakout than it is to try and go long and squeeze out a couple cents on that trade. The risk is not worth the reward, or the reward is not worth the risk. So what we're going to be looking for is a short opportunity or puts trade when we hit 40.80. We want to see a rejection there on the daily at the least. If we do, we very well could see it push back down to, I would say, probably about 35, 36, which would be the bottom of this range. That would be a nice trade that pays us handsomely. Going to the hourly chart here, we can see we got some degradation here. Price is starting to curl downward, which is usually not a great sign. We have some great consolidation over the past couple of weeks, but I don't think that this is going to hold up right here, right now. Let's take a look at what StocksBuddy has to say, the indicator of all indicators. Go to StocksBuddy.com. If you haven't used it yet, you need to. This thing basically does everything but damn near trade for you. Phenomenal. So we looks like StocksBuddy gave the bullish signal at 37 bucks. It gave a secondary entry at 38.38. Looks like it's calculated the stop loss being 39.75, give or take. So I would watch that for now. That's on the daily chart. It's a little different for the weekly. Remember, this thing adjusts to each time frame based on the risk given in the trade, based on the time frame you used. Bull signal StocksBuddy gave at 33. Wow, hell of a trade. 20% since the StocksBuddy signal. Secondary entry at 37 and change. StocksBuddy stop loss auto calculated at 38.39 on the weekly. So keep a close eye on that. Again, that's stocksbuddy.com. If you don't have it yet, you need to get it. This thing is the best of the best. Even draws trend lines for you. You don't have to ever lean on anyone for technical analysis again. You just simply find the outer price envelope and trace. And there you go. Now you're a master at drawing trend lines. Phenomenal. So moving on from that one, we've got a couple more I wanted to look at here. Apple, we wanted to take a quick peek at how that's performing today. Haven't even had the chance to check. So remember, we had this range on Apple. We were trading nicely, and then we fell through. So the question is, where do we go from here? We have long-term trend strength, this blue line right here. You can see me tracing across the bottom of the screen. That's probably our next stop, other than this horizontal range we identified at about 180 a share. Seems that StocksBuddy agrees and has calculated that as the stop loss to watch for this weekly long trade. I want to see what happens here. If we can hold above this and start pushing back up, we may test 205 again. If not, I think we're going to come down to 160, 170, which would be a great puts or short opportunity to trade that to the downside. So following along our narrative with the chips here, we've got AMD, which I would argue right now is a chart that's primed for a little more upside than NVIDIA, given that it is setting up here just above this first fib extension at 167. Sorry, that's the one. So the next extension and next target for AMD would be $238 a share if we stay above 169. Again, let's look at StocksBuddy to confirm. Wow, StocksBuddy gave the bull signal, same as we did in the Discord. Remember, we were buying AMD when it broke out over 99 bucks. We are already up almost 100%. We are up 100% here, just about. Looking for a little bit more upside here. I still think there is on this trade. StocksBuddy calculated the stop loss at 161. I would agree. Watch this range right here between 166 and 161 to trade that extra safe. And then to double check, if you look, the EMAs would confirm that. So again, AMD, if we can stay above 167, that's going to be a nice long here to about $238 a share. Again, if the chip narrative continues, remember, NVIDIA's paved the way. These are AMD's quality company, but I would still throw it in the category of sympathy run. So you don't want to put too many eggs in that basket. I'm sure many of you have been watching the madness that is SMCI. That thing has absolutely boomed, pushing up from 230 a share to basically 5x, going over 1,000, and now trying to find its footing and consolidate. StocksBuddy has listed this. Wow, StocksBuddy gave the buy on this one on the weekly at 259, and it's run to 1,000 bucks. Well, there you go. There you go. It's calculated the stop loss at 691. So obviously you want to watch it stay above there. I'm not buying here. In my opinion, these are the trades that can absolutely break you. Do not buy in limbo after a massive run. I don't think that there's enough juice to justify the squeeze. So this is always a trade that is going to carry more risk. Please be safe. Please do not get bent over and beat to death. You do not need to chase these. There are always better opportunities. Moving on to updates on trades that are absolutely crushing it. Robinhood, our $15 calls are in the money. Remember, we bought those when it was trading at around 7, 8 bucks. We also loaded up equity around 7, 8 bucks, much like we also did with Palantir. Absolutely ripping. We've got our ranges identified. I updated that for everyone in the Discord. You guys have that information. You can see that we're going to test 16 bucks here, and then we're going to look to see if we move to 33 through our liquidity zone that we have right here post IPO. Robinhood's projected some great earnings. I think that they're really adapting the business model to meet the needs of the market. Again, user-friendly platform, and they have the brand recognition to really see continued growth through the next 10 years. Not saying I'm the biggest fan of the company, but what I'm saying here is that as far as investment opportunities go, it's one that I like quite a bit more than a couple of others that we have in front of us right now. So absolute madness here. We're going to take a quick look. I'm going to pull up my screener here. Let's because there's a couple names I saw come up that I thought were pretty interesting that I wanted to make sure that I put in front of you and that we at least discussed. So let me get the swing filter pulled up here. You should not be seeing anything on my screen, so don't worry about that. Let me figure this out. There we are, swing setups. And what do we have here? Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. Not as many as I like. Let's take a look at the Golden Quench options screener. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. That's one I wanted to look at. It's our good friend Tesla. Let's make sure we're on the right Tesla. Yes, we are. So, as we broke down last stream, ignore all the madness. Get rid of the fib retracement. It's a little less messy. Remember, we talked about this being the bottom of our very important range, this being the top of our very important range. Our next trade is going to be long after the breakout above 202, 203, and we're going to trade this to 260 and beyond. I think that Tesla is priming itself here if it can hold up for another fantastic run. We always want to track the earnings and trade this accordingly. You do not want to take too much risk on any one name. Please always follow your own trading plan and protocols. This is not investment advice. It's just my plan and what I'm doing so that you guys can weigh in, figure out if it makes sense for you, and then make your own decision. So StocksBuddy's still got the bear signal flashing here with the stop loss for the bear trend at our breakout point. So it's confirming exactly what we thought all along. We are seeing buying to the upside. Remember, we talked about Tesla wanting to hold up above 183. If it does and doesn't need to fall to this long-term trend line support, it will complete our little wedgie we've got here, testing this resistance right here to the upside and then hopefully breaking out to about 260 or so. Remember, it's broken through this range quite a few times, which gives us a nice bit of, I guess, past performance to weigh in on and make sure that it is exactly what we want it to be. And now on to one that we absolutely crushed from a couple of weeks ago, Cart. We talked about it holding over 2410, this being a bottom dweller setup. It is absolutely ripped to 30 bucks. This thing is up 30% from our mention. If you guys aren't following this stream, I don't know what else to tell you. My goal is just for you to get rich and spend an hour a week watching this stream every 5 p.m. Monday on the Penny Boys YouTube channel. Please check it out. I love y'all. Stay blessed. We'll be back live next week, so do not miss it. Happy trading. Stay blessed now.